military can't win a war today. I'm just putting it out there. Look how impotent we are. The Houthis are going to beat us. Okay, the Houthis are going to beat us. Not because they're going to invade America, not because they're going to do this, because we can't beat them. America can't beat anybody anymore. Hell, I don't even know if we could invade Grenada anymore. You know, that was Ronald Reagan's big thing. I don't think we can replicate that victory. We damn sure can't do the Gulf War over again, 1991. We can't put 750,000 people on the ground with all that air power and do that. We can't replicate what we did in 2003 in invading Iraq. We can't replicate what we did in Afghanistan. We weren't able to sustain 5,000 troops in Afghanistan. We're going to have to withdraw from Syria and Iraq because it's unsustainable. We got 100,000 troops in Europe. We can't put any more there because we can't afford it. We can't do any. We spend nearly $1 trillion a year on our defense budget, $1 trillion a year, and we can't do anything. Again, America, how stupid are you to let this continue? Why do you let Congress continue to vote for these budgets when every budget, the more money we put in, the weaker we get? Because we are a very, very weak nation. We can't beat the Houthi.
A $2 million missile versus a $2,000 drone. Pentagon worried over cost of Houthi attacks. And then they go on to talk about it. And basically what they say is the cost of using expensive naval missiles, which can run $2.1 million to destroy unsophisticated drones, estimated at a few $1,000s each, is a growing concern. And they've even said that the U.S. ships would eventually run out of missiles and they'd have to return to port to rearm because of the number of missiles and the number of drones that the Houthis can fight. So let's talk about this conflict from the perspective of what the Houthis bring to bear with their drones and their missiles. What type of missiles? How dangerous are they, et cetera? Because I know you know a lot about missiles. Your thoughts, Scott Ritter?
Well, look, if I were planning the Houthi attack, and they're smarter than I am with theirs, this is exactly the ratio that I want. I want to fire the cheapest possible weapon at the Americans or their coalition and compel them to respond with weapons that are uniformly expensive in nature. And I would do this again. The Houthi are smart. They know what the magazine capacity is of American ships, and they know when they'll reach missile depletion. And you coordinate that so right around the time that missile depletion is reached, you hit with a saturation attack, and hopefully, from a Houthi perspective, you hit a ship or two and you sink one, and you just won the war. Look, there's nothing the United States can do to change what's happened here. We would have to physically land 100,000 Marines on the Yemen soil to secure the strait, to physically remove that. We don't have 100,000 Marines to land, and how are we going to get them that close to shore? The former Marine Corps commandant, when he took over, said that the classic way that we're currently configured is a legacy system of amphibious warfare, where we put all the Marines on one big ship, inviting that ship to be sunk. So remember this: in order to get towards Yemen, we have to go into waters where Yemen can reach us. So this is stupidity in the extreme. Look, we have very capable naval systems. Don't get me wrong. Our radars are good. Our missiles are good, but they ain't cheap, and they can be depleted. And the Houthi have systems that are basically they're willing to trade off to achieve this depletion. What we don't know is what Iran has provided the Houthi that the Houthi haven't yet used. The Iranians aren't stupid, and they can provide technology packets, etc. Maybe the Houthi have a missile with a maneuvering warhead that changes the dynamic of force protection. Maybe they have a missile that can fly to near hypersonic speeds. Who knows what they have? We don't know. Maybe they have nothing. But the point is, why are we doing this? What do we hope to achieve? We will not open up the straits. We will not. The straits will be closed to Israeli all shipping. And we can't open it. This is the reality. You remember how confident the United States was? We can keep the Strait of Hormuz open. No, you can't. The Iranians would shut that thing down forever. And now you can't even keep the strait open against the Houthi, who lack, they have 1/10 the capacity of Iran or even less. We're in danger of exposing ourselves as the frauds that we are. This carrier battle group is a legacy concept dating back to World War II. It has no application in modern warfare today whatsoever. None. You think the Houthi are afraid of American airplanes dropping American bombs? Hell, they've been doing that since 2014. The Saudis have been flying American airplanes, dropping American bombs using American intelligence. It ain't going to change anything because now the airplanes take off from an aircraft carrier, except that it's going to be easier for the Houthi to target that aircraft carrier. This is stupidity in the extreme. What happens when we exhaust our missiles and we have to return to port? Rotate in another aircraft carrier? Who's paying for this? Remember how we complained how the carrier battle groups that are operating in the Mediterranean, we didn't have a budget. They were eaten into their own, training budgets and everything to sustain this. I think there was I think that problem's been resolved, but this is very expensive to accomplish what? The carrier battle group simply can't win anything. It would cost Team Biden highly. It'll be fatal to us because we're not going to win. We're not going to win. It's going to be yet another embarrassment. And as we continue to fail globally, all we do is empower other nations to step up. We want to maintain the concept, the perception of American strength, and we hope to build upon that perception to deter people from doing just what the Houthi are doing. But the Houthi are exposing the whole thing as a lie. This is why it's very dangerous to have allowed this to come to this, because now, if we don't act, we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. If we don't act, the Houthi have just showed every other half-baked power in the world that you give them a couple missiles and everything, they can shut things down, and there's not anything America can do about it anymore. If we react, we're going to lose, and the consequences of losing here are immense. Because what happens if Iran decides? What happens if we end up drawing the Iranians? And because the Houthi have said things such as, "You attack us, Saudi oil production ceases to exist." Oops. What do we do about that? What happens when they take out the United Arab Emirates oil production? Are we going to take out Iran's oil production? Then Iran's going to take out every American installation in the Middle East. And then what? I mean, see, we're heading towards stupid quicker than we can possibly imagine. Nobody's thinking through the consequences of American chest beating. We're America. We can deploy a carrier battle group. So what? No one cares anymore. No one's losing any sleep about an American carrier battle group 2 or 3. The world doesn't care anymore because it's an irrelevant military force. So you drop bombs. So what? They've adapted to it. They've all gone underground. Learn from Hamas. 6,000 American bombs have come down on Hamas, and they're still kicking. Hezbollah's even deeper underground. You ain't going to even get a spot of dirt to come off their little bunker by bombing them. And they've got tunnels that reach deep inside Israel. People don't know that. And they're going to come screaming out of those tunnels. And And the Houthi, you're not going to beat the Houthi. You're literally not. They can't invade America, so we're not worried about that. We should, so what are we doing trying to go to war against them? They're shutting down the strait for what reason? Because of Israel's ongoing genocide against the Palestinian people. It's not.
Let me add this, Scott. And what they said was they're doing it because of the refusal to allow food and humanitarian stuff. Allowing food and humanitarian supplies in. That's all they asked for, right? They didn't say you got to end it. They want it ended. Here's the question. Is that too much to add? Their request is in no way an unreasonable request. The world looks at what's going on in that standoff and says, what they're asking for is fairly reasonable. Are you willing to, let's face it, the direction we're going? Because through the Red Sea, all this stuff from China, from the east, goes through the Red Sea to where? To Europe. Europe is the one. The EU is their economy will be wiped out if this keeps going. So the question is, are you willing to wipe out the economy of Europe rather than simply allow humanitarian supplies into Gaza? It's madness, Scott.
It's more than madness, because again, think of why we're doing this. We're doing this because Israel wants to kill Palestinians. Let's just be straight up here. There is no military strategy for Israel anymore. They can't win against Hamas. They've already proven it. And America's told them, you got to shut this thing down come the end of the year. Okay, you got to transition to another mode of operation. So what's Israel doing between now and the end of the year? Simply slaughtering as many Palestinian civilians as possible. That's it. It's genocide. And we're the ones enabling it. We're going to veto another UN effort to bring about a ceasefire. A ceasefire. We say no. Let the Israelis kill as many Palestinians, because it's not about defeating Hamas. It's literally about slaughtering Palestinians. The Houthi have said, we want that to come to an end. We need humanitarian good. So America is going to sacrifice everything, because we're going to lose. I'm just telling you straight up, we're going to lose. We're sacrificing everything for what? For what? If we just, because we're not going to solve the maritime crisis that's taking place in the Red Sea right now. It ain't going away. It could go away if we just told Israel to stop. Now, we've made a decision. It's a despicable decision, but we made a decision that we're going to let Israel, we've greenlighted Israel's ability to slaughter thousands of Palestinians as part of their collective punishment. Because right now, Israel is only after revenge. They're simply trying to tell the Palestinians, you can never let a Hamas thing like this happen again, because Hamas will not be defeated. Hamas will always be there. So what Israel's saying is, we're going to make sure you understand the price you paid is so high that if Hamas ever says, hey, we want to do that again, you say no. That's the Israeli objective. It won't work because the Palestinian people are like, we're all behind this stuff now. So we're going to sacrifice everything to appease Israel, because that's what this is about. What it tells you is the control that Israel has over the American domestic political reality. Israel controls everything. We're not a sovereign state anymore. Israel literally has bought the American Congress and bought the American presidency and bought the American establishment. Where's the American media? I was always one of those people that sort of got a little uneasy when people would put up the list of media moguls in America and talked about how many of them were Jewish and how many had links to Israel. I'm like, oh God, that's a little anti-Semitic, don't you think? Not anymore, because the silence of the American media is deafening. The American media is standing by and allowing Israel to commit genocide, and they're not doing a damn thing about it. This should be at the top of this should be the lead story. They should be calling out the hypocrisy of the Biden administration. They should be condemning Benjamin Netanyahu. They should be condemning Israel, but they can't, because Israel owns them. Israel owns everything. And so America is going to be sacrificed on the altar of Zionism, on the altar of this Israeli state. It's mind-boggling because it's stupid. It's counterproductive. Nothing good comes from this. This is all about assuaging the ego of Benjamin Netanyahu, the world's most evil man today. There's nobody in the world more evil than Benjamin Netanyahu, and he's an American friend. He's an American ally. We're going to let him kill as many Palestinians as possible.